Hello, this is Chef John from foodwishes.com with rice pudding. But not just any rice pudding, we're doing a coconut milk rice pudding. We're also going to use arborio rice for this, which is the same rice you use for risotto. We're also going to top with some fresh mango, and no guarantees, but this could be the best rice pudding you've ever had. So we're actually going to use a similar technique to making risotto. We're going to take a saucepan, put it over medium heat. We're going to dump in some coconut milk. They do sell low-fat coconut milk, but I prefer the regular. To that, we're going to add some milk. I'm using 2%. And all we want to do here is warm this up. So as soon as we see steam forming, we're going to turn this on to the lowest heat setting you have, and we're just going to leave it right there, below the simmering point. When you see it get a little steamy, turn your heat down to the lowest possible setting, and that is ready to go. Next to it, I have another saucepan with some melted butter, into which I'm going to pour some arborio rice. So just like the first step in risotto, we're going to cook the rice very briefly in the melted butter. And we're only talking about 45 seconds, maybe a minute. We don't want any color. We don't want it to brown. We're just giving it a quick sizzle. And like I said, after about 45 seconds to a minute, we're going to start ladling in our hot coconut milk mixture. So I'm going to toss in half a ladle. I'm going to stir it in. And just like making risotto, as soon as that rice absorbs the liquid, add some more. You'll know. It'll have that look. It'll be like, dude, more milk. And another similarity to risotto, as it cooks, we can start adding the liquid a little faster. So at the beginning, I'm just putting in like a splash at a time. All right, and when it kind of dries out and gets a little thick, I toss in some more. And you're going to keep doing that, and the entire process is going to take approximately, 30 minutes. It's going to cook a little slower than a risotto. And after about half the milk mixture's in, you can go a little more aggressively. Or you can put in 2 or 3 splashes at a time. So basically, this is a really simple recipe in that you're just waiting for the grains of rice to be as tender as you like them. And just like risotto, some people like a bit of a bite to the rice. Other people like it very, very soft and tender. Same here. And of course, after making this a couple times, you can adjust the amount of milk to make it creamier or thicker, depending on your preference. And then towards the end, when it starts to get tender, I just dumped it all in, like you see me doing here. So you're just going to keep cooking until it's tender. We're basically going to stay on medium heat the whole way, but if you need to adjust it down a little, go ahead if you think it's boiling too quick. All right, when you think you're just about there, you're going to add your sugar. And they say if you add the sugar too early before the rice is cooked, it gets tough. I don't know if that's true, but why take a chance? All right, so we stir that in. We're definitely going to add a pinch of salt. And then last but not least, I'm going to take a couple tablespoons of milk, right in the same measuring cup I used the first time, along with an egg yolk. I'm going to mix that up. I'm going to turn off the heat, and I'm going to whisk it right into my rice pudding. That egg yolk is going to give it a beautiful color. It's going to give it a little extra richness that I like. It is optional, by the way, if you're one of these people that thinks eating eggs is abusing chickens. Last, I'm going to put a couple drops of vanilla in. That, of course, is to taste. All right, so that's ready to spoon into your bowls. Now, I like to let mine cool about 15 minutes before I try to ladle it into any kind of serving vessel. I'm always afraid if I ladle it in really hot, the rice might settle to the bottom, which probably wouldn't happen anyway, but I'm a little bit paranoid. So I let it cool for 15 minutes, and you can see here as I ladle it in, it looks gorgeous. By the way, I had these new dessert cups. I thought I was going to get 4, but they were bigger than I thought, so I only got 3. So anyway, we'll talk about that in the blog post, but this recipe should give you 4 decent portions. All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap those up. I want the plastic touching the surface so no weird film forms over the top. I'm going to refrigerate that until ice cold, like hours and hours. Now, while that's chilling, I made a little bit of garnish with finely diced mango. Look at the knife work there. I will show you how to cut it like that when I think you're ready. All right, so finely diced mango and a little pinch of Chinese 5-spice. Shh, that's the secret ingredient. And that's going to give it this amazingly wonderful, exotic, possibly for some of you erotic flavor that's just so great on top of this rice pudding. And because you're going to ask, and I don't feel like typing it on the blog, here's the ingredients. We got us some cinnamon, some aniseed, some cloves, some ginger, and some fennel. Very nice. So 3 hours later, I unveiled my rice pudding. You can see how beautifully thick and creamy that is. I'm making a little indentation so any mango juice will run down into the pudding and not across the top. That was totally unnecessary. And there you go. A gorgeous, impossibly creamy, amazingly comforting rice pudding. And I just can't wait any longer. I'm digging in. Look at that. I mean, just plain would be awesome, but when you have that sweet, tart mango and that little bit of aromatic excitement from the 5-spice, just a tour de force. That's French for awesome. By the way, I just changed the name. It's no longer rice pudding, it's rice puddin'. All right, when a pudding is this good, you're allowed to drop the G, which is what we're doing. So from one G to another, I hope you give this a try. All the ingredients are on foodwishes.com and more info as usual. And as always, enjoy